imagine how English sounds like hundreds of years ago? Or are the people that existed in those years speak modernly like us today? Did they also use ASAP to answer when the deadline is due? Or BRB when they want to take a toilet break? Unfortunately, they did not.
Since the ancient periods until now, the English language has been portrayed in three different perspectives, based on the invasions of Britain by other countries: Old, Middle, and Modern English. Starting in the 5th century, three Germanic tribes such as Angles, Saxon, and Jutes invaded Britain, pushed out the existing residents of Celtic, the oldest language and cultural existing in UK, to Scotland and Ireland. Due to these invasions, English language has its origins from various groups of dialects. Old English was then continued to be used until the invasions of Duke of Normandy from France. After that, in the early 11th century, due to the dominance of France, the upper-class people conversed in French while the peasant talked in English. And that's how the Middle English period proceeded. Eventually, in the 14th century, English raised their domination in Britain. By the 15th century, we welcome the birth of the modern English period.
So to understand the linguistic features of British English, let's compare it to American English. Why American English? Well, because American English is also a standard English that is widely taught in East Asia. Let's start. Number 1, vocabulary. Rubbish, trash, holiday, vacation, trousers, pants, underpants, pants, socks. Number 2, accents, R sounds. My father is in the car. My father is in the car. T sounds, butter, butter. O sounds, stop fighting, I know. Oh, A sounds, half. Number 3, spelling, center, license, organize, color. 4, grammar. In past tense, British English end their words with T, while in American English, they end their words with ED. I dreamt, I dreamed, I learned.
Hi! So now we're going to talk about the cultural influences in British English. Throughout the history, the German language has left its mark on development and evolution on British English. For instance, the word kindergarten and doppelganger, these borrowed words, not only enhance our ability to express ourselves, but also bring a glimpse into the shared cultural heritage between Britain and Germany. In 1066, William the Conqueror invaded Britain from Normandy, France, leading to the Norman conquest. France became the language of the ruling class for several countries. Words like entered the English language during this time.
Let me tell you about TFL first. So TFL is basically an acronym that stands for Teaching English as a Foreign Language. Simply put, TFL involves teaching English students in countries where English is not the first language. For instance, a TFL teacher from Japan might be teaching students in Indonesia. Typically, the students of TFL teachers are called EFL, English as a Foreign Language students. Most of the schools here in Indonesia use a national curriculum. Most schools taught English in American English, which is different from British English. The significant differences between these two varieties of English is how words are pronounced and grammar differences. For example, the British are more likely to use formal speech such as shall, whereas Americans favor the more informal will or should, which is commonly used here in formal schools in Indonesia.